Welcome to The Real Review, sponsored by Parametric and Lazy Ape Studios, where you get some of the latest happenings, real thoughts, and perspectives in the world of film and television. And this is our coming soon and news segment, where we're going to cover some of the movies that are coming out soon in the next couple of days or so, and then maybe talk about some news, some new things happening in the movie / entertainment industry.
Why not?
Mainly the movie industry, whatever.
Sure thing.
Yeah. But with me, I have Mr.
Joel Cunningham.
Joel Cunningham. Hey.
I found out what you were going to say and I said it.
How's it going?
Good. I'm doing good. I'm tired. We talked about this.
Yes.
I'm exhausted.
Have a crackle bar or a peanut butter cup.
I think we ate all the crackles.
You ate all the crackles.
I think I ate all. I had one crackle, Matt.
I had 14 peanut butter cups.
Can I give you a kiss, Matt?
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that. All right, so we got a couple of things. I know last week we really only talked about one.
Yeah, we
wide
only had
release.
really one good wide release that we knew of. There was been a couple. I mean, Keys for Christ is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I ended up talking about Gifted as well.
Yeah.
Because I saw that.
So this week we got 3 movies going into wide release. We have Free Fire, Unforgettable, and The Promise. So I want to talk about first one, and this is probably out of those 3 the highest on our most anticipated, I would say.
I would agree. Yeah, we both watched the trailer and we're like, I want to see that one.
Yeah, exactly.
One of us have to go see one of these other ones at least.
And that's Free Fire. I would say that's probably highest on our list. And
yeah.
Just to kind of...
I will say, not to throw this card out here, but, for our second film, Unforgettable, it's more of an action suspense.
I've already forgot about it.
I
already forgot about it.
But you're more of a thriller guy, so...
This does not look like a thriller.
Matt, I brought candies. You have to go see those.
Okay.
Just kidding.
So let's talk about Free Fire then. Okay, so we have it's set in Boston, 1978. So we got a period piece here. A meeting in a deserted warehouse between 2 gangs turns into a shootout and a game of survival. Directed by Ben Wheatley and stars a couple people that we know: Ezio Cliente, Sam Riley, Michael Smiley, Brie Larson, Cillian Murphy, Armie Hammer, Charlton Copley. And a lot of cool people, actually. I really love Charlton. Even though I didn't like the last couple Neil Blomkamp movies.
Yeah,
I like Charlton a lot.
Yeah,
I really.
He's
like
a great
him.
actor in everything I've seen him in. I haven't liked all of his movies,
right?
Either. Yes.
But the first time I ever saw him was in District 9. I love District 9.
Amazing film.
Yes.
Yeah.
So. It's great that he's in there. I love Cillian Murphy too. He's obviously got his ties to the Nolan universe because Nolan always calls on him to play, characters in his movies. Yeah. He's in Dunkirk, I think, coming up too.
Yep.
And then we have Brie Larson, probably the main person who's going to be Captain Marvel for the new Marvel.
She's kind of up and coming her.
Yeah. First time I saw her was in Room, and that movie was just so fantastic. It wrecked me. It was amazing, but it was one of those Oscar movies that was wonderful, but I'll never watch again just because the content was so dang heavy.
I gotcha.
But it was really good.
What you need to do is you watch Room, and then you go back and you watch The Room.
No, not The Room.
You're tearing me apart, Matthew.
Hi, Karen.
Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah. Oh, hi, Matt.
Oh, okay, it's Mark. I don't know why I said Karen.
It's all right.
That's dumb. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, with this movie, it's one of those films that takes place in one centralized location. Mm-hmm. And those movies can be hit or miss.
Very much so.
And I think it really just depends on the perspective of the person seeing it.
Yeah.
Specifically, did you ever see the movie Buried with Ryan Reynolds?
No.
Okay.
I know the one you're talking about where he's stuck in the coffin.
Right. So that one works for me because I was going to have a heart attack through that the whole movie because it's like one of my worst fears ever.
Yeah.
And then you have other movies.
Which is funny because Ryan Reynolds has died in one way that you find the most terrifying ever, and then another movie died in a way that I find the most terrifying.
Right.
So it's like he's just getting us both ways.
Space octopus.
Yeah, there you go. That's all we have to say about that.
That's all we have to say about that. But anyway, Free Fire, I'm kind of excited to see this. I mean, obviously we have these 3 movies. This was the most thing. I'm not super over the moon excited for it, but I am excited to check it out. The trailer looked quirky enough.
Yeah.
Charlton Copley in there just kind of say some of the stuff. And some of the humor, it's kind of dark, but it looks like just enough like someone's like go ahead and run.
Yeah.
They're not going to shoot you. And then first thing she gets shot in the leg.
Yeah.
And then she was like, what are you talking about? And they like just out of retribution, not trying to kill him, shoots him in the leg.
Yeah,
you know?
just to get him back. Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. I was like, this might be kind of a fun movie.
These can work, and I mean, Reservoir Dogs, famous classic movie. I think another one by Quentin Tarantino, just to stick with that trend, Hateful Eight, which pretty much all takes place in a cabin. So movies like that can be very good and very effective. It really, really, really 100% comes down to the characters.
Right.
Because you've got to have interesting enough characters in the environment that it makes you want to see like who lives, who dies, and where they go.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think they've got a great cast to do this with. I think if there's anybody currently that I would think that they could put in this film, these are definitely some good picks. I think the ones you named in particular are very strong names for this film to deal with. So I'm not sure how the others will do, but I think when they're surrounded by these others, probably make up for a lot if they don't do even a very good job. But I'm excited for it. It's getting some really good response rates on IMDb, probably the highest of the other two movies that we're going to be going for. It's got like a 79% on the Rotten Tomatoes score right now. I will say as well, I'm such a big fan of Charlton that I'll pretty much just give a look-see to pretty much whatever I see him in.
Yep.
Because I think he earned so many good points with District 9 for me. And then I've been really frustrated because I'm like waiting to see that good movie, not sequel, but like good movie that he's in after that. And I just haven't seen it yet.
He's great in everything.
You know?
I even liked him as Murdoch in the new iteration of the A-Team. I thought he was just enough
I didn't see it.
Enough like wacko.
Yeah, I remember Elysium. I thought that was a horrible movie, but he was good in it. I think he was good in Maleficent, but I didn't like Maleficent. I didn't see Chappie. I don't know how Chappie was.
Well, he was good in Chappie, but it was just his voice basically.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So
I haven't seen. I didn't know what role he was in even. So is he Chappie?
Yeah,
he's Chappie. There you go. That's why.
I'm Chappie.
Chappie. There you go. Cool. So I'm looking forward to this one, though. We'll have to rock. Maybe we'll both go see this one, and then we'll have to.
What's your excitement level?
I'm actually putting it pretty high. I'd say I'm actually close to like an 8 out of 10 on this one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I would go same thing on that. But yeah, Free Fire. Check it out if you're into that sort of thing. Check out the trailer if you haven't, just to kind of get a feel. Definitely not going to be for kids.
For sure.
But yeah, this other movie that we're going to talk about is Unforgettable, and I've already forgotten about it. Let's move on.
No, we need to talk about it a little bit. Come on. Just really briefly. I mean, so this is a film. This is the synopsis. A woman sets out to make life hell for her ex-husband's new wife. Yep. There you go. It stars Rosario Dawson, Katherine Heigl, and Geoff Stults. Jeff Stults. There you go. You always correct me on those. You nail me on them.
Geoff.
I feel like you and I know how to pronounce different names at different times. Geoff Stults. I do obviously know Rosario Dawson and Katherine Heigl. Rosario, I think she can be an okay actress at times. I haven't seen her in anything that I've just been like blown away from.
She's better than this, man.
Yeah.
I don't know why she did this. She's way better than this.
Yeah, I mean, Katherine Heigl, she hasn't been anything good in a really long time.
Right.
I mean, she plays this. I feel like this could be a good role for her, to be honest, but I don't feel like the film itself is going to be very good. I can see her as this uptight, mentally unstable,
that's exactly what
woman,
she is. Yeah,
but the film itself just has no semblance of interest for me. I mean, it felt like they were manipulating elements of the film in the trailer to try and make them look scarier or more intense or more interesting than they probably were.
Right.
You know what I mean? They have like the one scene where like the guy's like breaking into the house and she's like screaming like, "Oh my gosh!" And it's like he's just. I mean, it's scary. Don't get me wrong, but like in the movie world, like that's like the least scary thing that he would just. And they've done this type of idea so often in the past, which is like, the jilted lover of, the fiance or the husband, or, somebody cheated on somebody and now the person they cheated with is now coming to, reap vengeance or something.
I think in that movie with Idris Elba, Beyonce, and Ali Larter. Yeah,
there you go.
I don't remember what that was called, but it reminds me a lot like that. There was another one that came out. It was called like Rockabye Baby. I don't remember what it's called.
There's been a bazillion different types of films like this. This is a tried and true type story. And so I don't think you're going to get anything from everything that it's looking like. They've got an embargo right now on the reviews on Tomato Meter, and so it's looking like probably bad sign as well.
Yeah. So again, typically if a studio puts an embargo on a review for a movie this close to the release date, it's not a good sign, people.
Not really.
For the most part, there are exceptions, but for the most part, it's not a good sign. This just looks like something you catch on like a soap opera in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I could see that. It's like a
Lifetime movie,
a movie version of a soap opera episode, or something.
Right? Yeah. So I have zero interest in this thing.
Yeah. There's nothing about it that really intrigues me. I don't really feel like any of the characters have anything to them. Just like, I have to see Katherine Heigl play this unstable. I have to see Rosario Dawson beat down Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, there's nothing interesting about this to me. I do think Rosario Dawson could be better. She's in the limelight right now with this the Marvel Netflix TV series.
She's doing a lot of stuff there.
And I think she's good for the most part in that stuff. But I don't know what happened with this. And maybe this is all she has time for outside of the Marvel universe right now.
Possible. Yeah.
But if I can't go any lower than a 1 on the 1 to 10 scale, I go with a 1. I would go with 0, but I would gotta go with a 1, I guess.
As far as like anticipation and excitement for it, I'd probably about a 1.5. I mean, 1.5.
0.5.
I mean, it's got just in the sense that it's got like some action that might be suspenseful. That's it though. There's like nothing else.
There's nothing else for me, man. I saw this trailer in the theater with a friend of mine. Oh, we saw this a while ago. It was for Get Out. We went to go see this. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this looks awful. This is like 30 seconds into the trailer.
They're promoting it like nobody's business. I mean, they're putting it up in all the movies. I've seen a lot of different previews. I've seen stuff on YouTube. I mean, it's pretty surprising how much they're putting into the P&A and the marketing for this.
I think... I'd be curious to see what the money is like after this weekend, see what the box office report is. But very little interest on this.
Yeah, same here.
So I forgot what we just talked about. Unforgettable.
Yeah. You got me.
Anyways, so this next one is that we're going to talk about is called The Promise. It is not... I don't know. I think maybe
not good. No, just kidding.
I will say that it's not getting very good reviews on IMDb Rotten Tomatoes at the moment.
The only thing that really excites me about this one so far is Christian Bale's facial hair. I mean, he's rocking it with that like goatee beard thing he's got going on there.
Right.
Have you seen that?
He reminds me of his character in The Prestige a little bit, actually.
Yeah, I can see that. How do you do it?
So this movie stars Poe Dameron. Oh, sorry, Oscar Isaac.
There you go.
But it's set during the last days of the Ottoman Empire. The Promise follows a love triangle between Michael, a brilliant medical student, and the beautiful and sophisticated Anna, and Chris, a renowned American journalist based in Paris, and directed by Terry George. Obviously starts Christian Bale, Oscar Isaac.
Go for it. Here we go.
Shohreh.
Yeah. See,
Aghdashloo.
This is payback.
Sure, but you're not correcting me.
No, I could try to.
Shohreh Aghdashloo.
There you go.
I don't know. There's
Good enough.
No, there's a silent R in there somewhere.
Aghdashloo.
Yep.
Shohreh Aghdashloo.
Sure.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Anyways, so this is kind of a weird way of tying this in, but I'm watching
Oh, well, and it also has Charlotte LeBon, who's Anna.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've been watching some TV on Hulu, which I have a 30-day trial for right now.
Okay, so you're trying to get everything in.
Right.
Like, watch it all now.
But for some reason, I don't know why, but it has, the trial is on a, where the commercials are in it, and every other commercial is The Promise.
That's a wicked bad trail. That's a wicked bad trial membership if they still give you the commercials.
Right. Well, there's like, if it's like the $8 a month plan, it's with commercials. $11 or $12 is without commercials.
Oh, wow.
And this one, it's every time they do a commercial break, and it's like 5 times through an episode of something, and it's just like, I'm so tired of seeing The Promise. Yes, I love Oscar Isaac. I think he's awesome. He was amazing in Star Wars. I loved him in Ex Machina.
Yeah.
But I
loved him in that too. This one doesn't have anything that would appeal to me, but it might be more of a certain kind of audience that's really into the romantic dramas.
Right.
Like the time period romantic drama type movie. But I would say even for that audience, maybe, and at least in my perspective, this comes across as being very melodramatic,
Right.
and also the look of it just looks a little silly. It just feels a little weird to me.
Okay.
You know, when I watch it, it feels so over the top, which is part of the melodrama. You know, the melodrama is like these super high heights of emotion and, oh, you know, I can't believe you did that or you're not there for me. But also there's just nothing about the story that really seems to be of interest. Like, what am I latching onto here?
Right.
With any of these characters, with any of these things, it's literally just like, well, if I want to go see a romantic movie with some characters, some people that I think are attractive.
Well, one thing I think is interesting in this is that in this synopsis that's being presented on the IMDb page, it's not even addressing one of the things that I thought was more interesting about the trailers they keep showing me on Hulu every 30 seconds, and that's there's this cover up of this Armenian like genocide or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's not even really touched on. Like that's the thing that I'm more interested in than this love triangle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it reminds me, I know it's not really the same, but it reminds me of Pearl Harbor, where they spent so much time on the love triangle as opposed to the actual content of what was happening. Now, that's just a Michael Bay thing.
Right. I was actually going to mention the Pearl Harbor love triangle thing.
Right. So it's...
Which is like if they had previewed the Pearl Harbor movie and showed just the love triangle aspects of,
right.
I'm sure a lot of people would have been like, why? I don't want to go see a love triangle movie about, you know, that happened during Pearl Harbor.
Right.
You know, and I think it's the same thing with this movie. Like, if there was more interest in areas of like the Armenian genocide or what's going on with the world and the environment and what's the suffering, like instead of just why are these people not together?
Right.
You know, I don't really care about that too much. But again, there's going to be people out there that's their cup of tea, that's their bag, that's like, I love the fact that this is a love triangle and who's going to end up with whom. And so, yeah, I mean, and I'm not going to attack you for it. It's not my big interest.
I see this coming in a little higher, higher than Unforgettable.
I would agree. Yeah, it actually is open for reviews right now and getting some ratings. It's not high.
Nope.
It's at 35% right now on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not a good sign.
Nope.
But it's still a little early, and I don't know.
We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, or we won't see.
We won't see.
One of us is going to have to see some, you know, so.
Oh, man.
We need to figure out a good system for this.
We'll have to figure out who draws the short straw in these situations. But, The Promise. Check out the trailer if you haven't seen it. If you have Hulu.
What's your excitement? Any excitement?
Ooh.
Let's go.
2.5.
2.5. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I would say
because Oscar Isaac, Christian Bale too. There's a scene where he yells in Christian Bale. It sounds like a yell that he does in all those Batman movies.
Oh, really?
And I was like, that could just be taken audio straight from.
I thought you were going to go the opposite direction and talk about it being a yell like in The Mummy with Tom Cruise, and everybody's making fun of his weird yell.
Oh
in the
no!
Mummy trailer.
But I did see a new trailer in the Mummy, where they use that same
and
yell.
They move it
to a different scene.
When
I
he's
was
getting
like,
surrounded by like the rats or something, right? Yeah, and you're like, what? Yeah.
This is not right.
That was just a miss. We're gonna coldly sidetrack here, but like that new trailer made it look even worse. I feel like they missed it even more so with me, because at least the first trailer had some intrigue and some suspense, whereas the second trailer, like literally the suspenseful elements are treated more as like just kind of silly.
The new trailer I liked more.
Really?
This is where we differ. I really liked it. I thought it was creepy as heck too.
Yeah, I didn't think.
I was like, ooh.
There's like that part, that part where he's like dead, but he's not dead.
Yeah.
And he's like in the morgue and he hops up, and it's like in the original trailer, it was really suspenseful because it's kind of quiet. I think maybe there's like a pad or something, and then it's just, you know, and he just jumps up. Where in this new one, they're like playing music over top of it, but they still kept that sound effect there.
Yeah.
And so it's like he jumps up, but it's like, I think you know.
I think it's a problem with the trailer cut team.
Well, the sound design. Was
right.
Really
I think I like this new one because it's just a little bit. They showed a little bit more, and it does look like it's a little creepier.
I was more intrigued, I think, and now it's just looking very like, okay, very standard, like guy and girl fall upon this mummy thing, and you know, I don't know.
We'll see, dude.
Yeah, all right.
I'm still super optimistic about that movie, but The Promise. If you haven't seen the trailer, watch it, check it out, see if it's something you want to do. Hulu. If you have Hulu, you've probably already seen the trailer for The Promise 1,700 times. If you have the option to get out of the Hulu $8 to get to the 12, so you don't have to watch the trailers, and go for it.
Yeah, maybe send Matt some login info.
Right. Yeah. Hey, send me your login information.
If anybody wants to sponsor us to have that high-end Hulu subscription, we would very much appreciate
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But that wraps up our opening this week segment, which brings us to the news segment. And there's really only one thing I want to talk about.
Yeah.
This past weekend, we, well, not we, but just the general,
us.
Yeah, the corporate us world.
Yeah, the world.
Got
we are
to have all the news and wonderful things that come out of Star Wars Celebration, which Star Wars Celebration is something that I've wanted to experience myself for the last couple of years, but I've never had the fortunate enough.
And I had badges. I had the access to go. I just couldn't make it down.
It was in Orlando.
I know.
It's just
and
kind of a long way away. I know. So it's like Comic-Con, but just specifically for Star Wars related things.
They do a ton of signings and they reveal a bunch of information about the productions and
Exactly. Now, more recently, since Star Wars has kind of kicked into full gear as of recently, starting with The Force Awakens, this is where we get a lot of big announcements about future films. So we get a lot of big reveals as to new plans, directions they want to go with things. I'm kind of a big Star Wars nerd. I started reading all of the Star Wars novels, as much as I can. I watched Star Wars Rebels, which, by the way, they announced that Star Wars Rebels is going to be wrapping up with its 4th season that comes out this fall.
Yep.
And then they have like the Battlefront 2 for the video game. It's actually going to be, there's going to be a single player campaign.
Yes, I heard that.
Which is a huge step up because there's a big critique about the first one.
Right, just the multiplayer type.
Right, exactly. Which is great. I think it's great they're doing that. One of the new books that they have coming out is actually tied into that. And I think what's really cool is one of the books I've read is called Lost Stars. It's all from the Empire's perspective and how not everybody who's in the Empire is actually a bad guy. They actually think they're doing and fighting for a good cause.
We saw that in the last movie, Rogue One.
Right. Yep. So you see that, but you also see that in the book Lost Stars.
They have rationale for being a part of this bad thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the route that they're going with the new video game, the Battlefront 2.
So it's looking like what you're talking about is they're going more towards that gray Jedi type idea. Is that
right, but minus the Jedi for the Battlefront. So, but with that, it's kind of exciting. But I think the big piece, they had a really nice 40th anniversary celebration too, which is really cool. The Harrison Ford made his first Star Wars celebration ever.
Right.
He showed up there. We had George Lucas, Mark Hamill, obviously, and they did this really nice, touching tribute for Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
John Williams was there, did this cool little concert at the end of that thing. But the big thing that was making headlines was all of the Last Jedi stuff. They released a teaser trailer.
Yep.
Because it's still not in that full trailer territory. They released that, and they released a really, really sweet poster for it.
The poster is really cool. I do really like the poster.
Yes, it's really, really cool. So that was the main thing I wanted to talk about was the Last Jedi trailer.
Okay.
The panel was really cool. They had Josh Gad actually do the interviewing, which I thought was really interesting. They opened it up with his like viral videos where he's trying to like grill Daisy Ridley for the information about the movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty comical.
Yeah.
He did a really, really great job. Rian Johnson, I love hearing that guy talk. He's just so kind of like just this really humble, like kind of like sweet guy, you know, and he's, I don't know, it's really, really cool. And it's funny watching him do that, seeing the content as like Looper, you know, which is a really dark movie.
Yeah.
And, just the way he talks,
Yeah.
This is awesome. I will say this, and the trailer's getting, a lot of people really like the trailer, and I think you and I might actually be on the same page on this a little bit.
Yeah,
probably liked it a little bit more, but I liked the trailer, but I felt like it was missing one last like wow or like oh my gosh moment.
Yeah, that we are on the same page. Similarly, I think you did like it probably a little more than I did.
Yes,
I think on a scale like we're doing the ranking thing of like 1 to 10, I put it like a close to an 8 out of 10.
Okay,
like maybe like right at an 8 out of 10.
I might be at an 8.5.
Yeah, the only reason I really felt that way is because it didn't really offer me anything that I needed that I really felt like I was left. It didn't like excite me for anything specifically about the story. I mean, really all you're at this point kind of getting is, and I understand it's a teaser, so there's very limited amounts of what they can provide you, but you're really just getting a little snippet of what's happening with Rey and kind of her training and everything with Luke. And then you're getting a little snippet of Kylo Ren and kind of like the downfall that happened there, and then like a little bit of scattered kind of battle type stuff outside of that, back at Carrie Fisher and the ships and everything like that, attacking looks like the AT-ATs, maybe,
Yeah.
or some sort of different version of them.
You call them AT-ATs?
Some people, I don't know. I
call them AT-ATs.
AT-AT, I heard of both.
Because you don't call an ATST, for the ATSTs.
Yeah, the point that I always heard is that it's not like A period, T period. They're spelled AT-AT, so it's AT-AT. But
then it would be called an ATST for the little ones.
I guess, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. We can have our whole separate podcast just talking about that.
Okay, whatever. I call them AT-ATs, whatever.
AT-ATs. I think it's just how you were born, how you're raised. Some people are right. And
you
some
were
people are wrong.
You were raised in an AT-AT family.
There you go.
I was raised in an AT-AT family.
That's what's going to divide us. Okay. I know it. Just
I'm
kidding.
drawing a line right now.
So I just didn't really give me anything that, it was cool in the sense that you're getting to see footage from the film, but the only really snippet of like where they're going with things that kind of like was like really interesting to me. Like, that Rey's going to be training with, Mark Hamill's character with Luke. That they're going to spend some time together, probably training. That there's going to be more fighting. That there's going to be, probably some force powers, and Kylo Ren's going to make an appearance. And so that's what you saw. The only thing that really added some interest there was like the last little line from Luke where he's talking about how it's time for the Jedi to end.
Right.
And that was like, whoa, what? That's pretty shocking. And it's starting to play out now where it looks like what they're pushing towards was what I said earlier, which is that gray Jedi idea. I don't want to spoil things maybe too much for people if they're not familiar with the whole history like you're talking about. But even with this poster, if you look at it, it's got, Rey kind of in the center, and you've got Luke and Kylo Ren on opposing sides that are split by this kind of like lightsaber that's part blue, part red. And it very much makes it look like maybe Rey is going to be, because the prophetic thing is like the balancing of the Force, and the balancing of the Force might not mean like all the Jedi are dead, or might not mean that there's like a specific amount of Jedi. It literally might mean finding the place where the Jedi are like in that gray zone, where it's not just light side, it's not just dark side. And that kind of looks like the direction that they're sort of pushing things at this moment. Right. And there might be a big shocking twist and like, surprise, it's not actually it. But even with the poster, you know what I mean? And him talking about the ending of the Jedi that they need to end, we'll see. So what are your thoughts?
My take on that is, first of all, it's a teaser. So the first Force Awakens trailer we got was a teaser. Yeah. It was only actually like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
But the first full length trailer was the one where we got like Chewie, we're home, that thing. So I'm a feeling we're gonna get that one last. We're gonna get maybe that wow moment when we get our first trailer, towards the end of the summer.
Yeah, the first trailer did wow me, but I would also say that's because it had been so long since we'd seen any Star Wars stuff like that.
So you're kind of like, oh my gosh,
yeah, it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But it was still really cool.
My thought with this is I just think it's a misdirect. Yes, it is kind of a profound thing that Luke would say that, but I think that happens in the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And then Rey's like, come on, train me. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll train you.
Is that your Rey voice?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Just stop it.
Just train me, Kind of like how like Obi-Wan was a little reluctant.
Sounds more like Kylo Ren being all whiny.
Yeah, how Yoda was a little grumpy and reluctant and stuff to train Luke and stuff like that. So I think that's the route that's going to go. Okay. I liked it. Oh, visually, it's stunning. The cinematography looked so good, especially really just nice, those opening shots of Skellig Michael Island, where they're, it's just like, wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. The special effects with the stones raising and Rey's like pushing on the rock, and I thought that was really visually stunning. I thought the sand shot with the different ships kind of flying over the sand was beautiful, and the one like bounces, it's like bounces off the ground. Somebody
asked Rian Johnson about if we're going to learn more about Rey's parentage.
Yeah.
And he said it's going to be addressed in the movie.
Okay.
And then he was like, oh, I can't really. Okay. I almost said something. I can't say anything else.
Yeah.
So that's kind of his take on that. So the fact that he didn't say yes or no, he just said it's going to be addressed, makes me think it might be vague still until
I'm still fingers crossed. Episode 1, Immaculate Conception. I'm hoping the Force
Stop it.
The midichlorians just kind of formed in somebody's womb.
I think that they will never ever mention the term midichlorians again.
I hope they don't.
In the history of Star. I don't think if they make 20 more of these, they will never say midichlorians ever again.
They might as a joke, but I don't think they would.
What are those things called? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's not important.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I'm pumped. I think it's going to be really cool. It's got Rian Johnson's kind of like stamp and tone.
Yeah. I would say I'm still as excited for this film because of what I believe it's going to be, but this trailer didn't make me more excited. it kind of just was like, okay, all right, well, that's interesting. You did your thing.
Well, I'm excited to see something. We got the Force Awakens teaser a year out.
Yeah.
And we're 9 months away from this. Close, So I'm just like, okay, cool. We finally got something. But now it's going to be ramping up. We have Comic-Con, so I'm anxious to see. We have Comic-Con in July.
It might drop a full trailer at Con.
So we have Comic-Con, and then we also have D23, which I don't know if they'll do anything for that, but we'll see. If you don't, D23 is just Disney's own
Disney's
thing.
Big con.
Right. So they own Star Wars and Marvel. They definitely can do their own con.
They can, yeah.
But I'm excited for it. Anything else you want to add to it?
No, I think that's kind of it.
Cool. Well, check it out. There's a bunch of cool stuff if you go to if you just haven't watched the trailer. Let us know what you think about it. Let us know if you think that Luke is going crazy, if he's going to go to the dark side, if you think Rey is a Kenobi, or if you think that Rey is a Skywalker. We don't know these things.
What's it gonna be?
But we will find out. Hopefully in the next episode, or we will at least will be addressed for us in the next episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can reach us if you don't know how to get a hold of us.
The next Star Wars episode, not the next.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Next Star Wars episode. Let us know what you thought about all that stuff at realreviewmedia@gmail.com. You could find us on our website, realreviewmedia.com, and then all of our social media, interwebs, interconnected cinematic universes at Real Review Media.
Yes.
So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff. But that is really all I have for that. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Cool. Well, it's been real.
It's been real.